Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. I'm your host, your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger, helping you whip your business into shape. And today I have with me Stuart Haller. Now, Stuart is the first person from this company who's ever been on my show. So I'm always excited when we get a new company represented because you guys know, I love direct sales. I love network marketing. I love MLM. And I believe everybody should have the opportunity to share who they are, what they do. So let me tell you a little bit more about Stuart. Stuart was born in South Africa, but spent the first part of his working career in the UK as a project manager for an IT company. His wife Marisa and Stuart have a huge passion for traveling and have visited every continent, including hiking Machu Picchu in South America to surfing the islands of Indonesia. That sounds really cool. I need to talk about that. They moved back to South Africa when their son was born, actively searching for a career change. They've always been passionate about health and fitness, so Herbalife was a perfect fit for them because of the ingredients and science-backed philosophy. They have been using the products daily since then, along with a healthy lifestyle, and they feel amazing. It's been 16 years, and they have built a team all over the world and have thousands of people with their health and their wealth. Welcome to the show, Stuart.
Thank you, Jennie. Thank you so much. Yeah, all the way from South Africa. I know it's afternoon there, but it's morning here. And yeah. Thank you for the introduction.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I always love when we get someone from a new company represented because I think so many people in the world of network marketing and direct sales are very insulated with the company that they know because they're already, they've already locked arms with at least one company. Some of them maybe have a second one that they're working with, but they really just don't know all the options that are out there. And really, there's literally thousands of MLM companies around the world. So tell us your story. How did you end up finding Herbalife? And, tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are today.
Cool. Thanks, Jennie. I don't know if you can understand me with this South African accent, but
I love it. Like we love British accents. We love South African accents. We're all over the accent here in the US.
We actually came across MLM in the UK, but we didn't really know what it was. And I'd been, as you said, a friend of ours was doing it, and we kind of looked at it and we thought, wow. And it was also in a nutrition industry. And then we forgot all about it. And, working as a project manager for an IT company, long hours, 6 days a week, money was great, but, and that's what allowed us to be able to travel so extensively. But I just knew that I did not want to work for a boss for the rest of our lives. And, we always wanted to move back to South Africa because that's where we were born and we wanted our son to grow up like we did in the surf on the beach. And that's where we came across Herbalife. And really, we didn't really even know much about MLM then. Even for the first couple of years, we got on the products.
Okay.
We felt great. Everything they told us would happen. We felt more energetic. We felt healthier. We just felt good. And people started asking us what we were doing. And we started retailing the products without really knowing what we were doing. My wife's a therapeutic reflexologist, so she's been running a practice from home for 15 years. So, they ended up working very well together in the long run.
Oh, fantastic. So she's already in the health industry then.
Yeah, okay. She was a radiographer before, so she was in the hospitals. Now she's a therapeutic reflexologist. So that's been an absolute bonus for her to be able to recommend great nutrition for her clients. But, we felt great and people started asking us. And like a lot of people in MLM, they don't really delve into the actual whole business itself. They kind of just retail products.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just sit on the outskirts like that. And then we went to, like we do in this industry, we go to a big event, and it's often the event that changes a person's outlook. And the guest speaker there was Leon Weisbein. He's the number one distributor in the world in Herbalife. And we saw the bigger picture, and I came back and I said, right, that's it. That's what I'm doing for the rest of our lives. So
Oh,
it was a
fantastic.
light bulb moment, and that's where we got really kind of working on building a team and kind of working on duplication and helping people to help other people. And that's all we do in this business, we just teach people how to help other people. And that's where it all started.
Oh my gosh. No, I love that because, all right, Badass Crew, there are so many nuggets in just that beginning part of Stuart's story here that I want to point out. So first off, the attendance of an event. So I'm assuming it was one of your international, or was it a national
It
convention?
was a national one, but it was way up almost. It was kind of in South Africa, but we've got a section of South Africa that's almost in Africa. It's a bit complicated, but it was almost like and there were about 5,000 or 6,000 people there. And it's funny enough, my upline had been trying to get us to a big event for about 3 years. And I kept saying, no, man, don't be silly. I'm just happy. And then afterwards I said to him, Anthony, why have you not told me about this?
Right. And that's what I try and explain to people all the time, when I'm talking to my especially my coaching clients and saying, so when's your company convention? Are you budgeting for it? All of that. And every once in a while, I get a client who's, no, I don't go to those. And I was like,
yeah, crazy.
Okay, I cannot tell you what you're going to experience there, but I'm telling you right now, it will be life-changing because everyone I've ever talked to, regardless of the company they're with, right? Going to that convention changes you in a positive way. How would you say that first one changed you? What was it about being at the convention that just...
It was a bit of a freak out at first. You walk in there and everybody's just going crazy, but the optimism and the excitement, and there's not a lot of that around. So it's about keeping that optimism afterwards. That excitement doesn't help to go to an event, get excited and walk out and go back to what you were doing before. I love that, the excitement, not so much the excitement, the goals, the possibility. I think it's the possibilities, of what you can do, the possibilities of what's out there, And it's all about building your business from event to event. I mean, that's what everybody says. And actual COVID actually stopped that for a while. Even after COVID, people have taken a while to get back to go to live events again. And it's so essential for anybody that's on this call and you're in MLM, go to the events. It's all about taking people with you. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. So you called it possibilities. What I heard was a combination of hope, positivity, and vision.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Vision,
like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Because possibilities
100%.
is such a huge, vast concept, right? But based on what you were saying there, it really sounded like, obviously, you brought up the positivity part. But I think when you get around that many people, that energy is contagious in a good way.
Just about to say contagious, eh? Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's absolutely
I think
amazing.
It's fantastic. And so would you also agree that going to that convention was something that helped you expand your vision?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of when everything really changed. I came home. Marisa was, again, she was also retailing products with us and we were growing our team. And that's kind of when she saw the vision as well, when she saw me so excited.
Did she go to the convention with you or?
No, she wasn't with me at that one. No. It's also very difficult to tell somebody about an extravaganza, as we call it. It's difficult because you got to feel it. And we got to work straight afterwards. And by the end of that year, we had qualified for our first international 5-star paid vacation with Herbalife. And they flew us off to Venice and we got on a Mediterranean cruise. And, we had been traveling so much before, but, doing it on a budget. And now suddenly we are being welcomed onto the ship and everything's paid for in your flights and the family are with it, the whole family. And I just remember being on the 14th floor of the ship. And obviously the ship's just full of Herbalife people from like 20 different countries doing a fit club, obviously an exercise session on the 14th floor. The music's pumping. There's like free products, and we're going into Montenegro and we're going down the fjords. And it's going through the fjords as the sun's rising. We're exercising, the music's pumping. I mean, it was just surreal. And I remember leaning over to Marisa and saying, we will never, ever not qualify for an international vacation with Herbalife. And in actual fact, we just about to qualify for our 12th one in a row. So it's been...
I just got full body goosebumps from that. That's amazing.
So it's been Zanzibar, it's been Greece, it's been Turkey, it's been Mauritius, it's been Thailand, it's been the Mediterranean cruise. And it's a free paid holiday every single year. And most companies offer this. And, you know, like I say to my team, it's not because of us, it's because of them as well. But it's because of the lives we have changed on the way to actually, you know, accept that on behalf of the whole team. So it's quite something, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I would agree with that, because one of the statistics that was true for the company that I was with when I was active was we knew that people who went to convention, 40% more business in the 2 months after convention than people who didn't.
Yeah. It's something when you walk out, you just attract. It's weird. You just get business just falls over you. You know, it falls onto your plate as you walk out. It's very odd. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's odd. Now that I know what I know about the woo-woo world of energy and everything, when you have that passion, the excitement, the hope, the positivity that comes from being around all those people, and you bring that back home to where you are, people are attracted to that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know, and they want more of that. And so that's going to lead to more sales. That's going to lead to people wanting to be on your team, because they're like, okay, you were not like this 4 weeks ago when I saw, you know, last month when I saw you. What's changed? Oh, well, I went to my company extravaganza, right? It just brings a whole different energy back with you that, again, is contagious to your new customers, your current customers, because you're reaching out saying, oh my gosh, we have new product, because they almost always release new product at these extravaganzas, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, so
you're texting like mad at the convention. My goodness, like you won't believe this. This has just come out. But it's about getting people to those events. You know, it's like I think that's one of the biggest things. You know, it's about starting to talk about that event as soon as that event's finished. Like talk about the next event. You know, every 90 days we have an extravaganza, and then 3 months later we have a leadership weekend. And then we have another leadership weekend, and then back to an extravaganza. So it's all about that 90-day plan, you know?
I love that. And I would definitely agree, because my team reached the top of the company when we started getting more people going to our conferences, our conventions. And it really came down to the way that I was able to get people there. And I would love to hear how you get your team involved in that. But the way that I did that was I sat down and did the math and said, okay, based on the cost of a ticket for the event, right? Because every company has a ticket cost investment to go to the event, right? I knew that I made more money when a team member advanced to a certain rank than what that ticket cost. So what I did was I incentivized my team, and I said, hey, if you reach this level, I will buy your ticket to the convention. So I set aside the money when they hit the rank. And if they told me they wanted to go, now they had to get themselves there, you know, because
it's a flight or a bus or I don't care how they get
drive with me, right? Because in many cases, my company had 2 conferences or 2 conventions every year. One was in Chicago, which is only a 5-hour drive from my house. Most of my team members were local to me. And so
pile them all in the car, you know, with you. You know,
and I drive a giant vehicle. I am a stereotypical American mom. I have a huge car.
A 4-liter V8, you know?
Oh, yeah. I have a big old sports utility vehicle.
That's a very American-Canadian thing. I mean, I snowboarded in Canada in Whistler for 8 months, and I just remember thinking, man, these guys drive big cars, you know?
Well, I think our fuel prices are a little bit better in North America than they are in the rest of the world, and that's probably why. If I'm going to knock on wood because I do not want to put this out in the universe. But if our fuel prices were the same as my European friends who tell me what they're paying,
Yeah.
and I do the math liter to gallons, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys are paying like twice per gallon what
No,
we
we pay a lot.
pay.
We pay a lot in South Africa as well. And South Africa's big distances,
Right.
well, I suppose it is where you are as well. It's
Yeah.
1,000 kilometers. It's a 9-hour drive to the next big city, either way from us. So,
Oh, well, based on where I am in St. Louis, it's about 5 hours in any direction to the next big city. Chicago,
okay.
Kansas City, Memphis, Indianapolis. We have a nice little radius there for bigger cities. But I think but like I said, so to jump back to what we were saying,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
figured out the math and said, well, I'll buy your ticket if you can get to the event, right? So then that took a couple $100 off of their budget,
Yeah.
right, to travel to go to the event because I was paying for it. So as soon as they ranked up, whenever I got my bonus or whatever, I would set that money aside. So that way, if they said, yes, I'm going to go to conference, then I would buy their ticket for
And
them.
it's also, they get so excited because they've qualified for an incentive.
Right.
It's amazing. People will qualify for and get more excited about incentives and recognition and things like that than just being given something, It's
Exactly.
like anything that's got a Herbalife, you get a coffee mug, and if it's branded Herbalife, it's like super cool. Anything that's
Right. Well,
Yeah.
the nice thing about that is too, though, and it's so simple. And I don't think a lot of
Simplicity. Yeah.
people think about it this way. So first of all, yes, there are people who are driven by recognition because they never get that kind of recognition if they have a part-time or full-time job, because
No, nothing.
that's just not the way most corporations operate, is
Yeah.
let me recognize you for doing what we asked you to do. Right.
Yeah.
So that's the first piece of that. But the second piece of that is when you get something like that is branded, right? So the
Yeah.
branded coffee mug or the branded hoodie or jacket or whatever that you're walking around with, now it's a conversation piece.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
what's that? What's Herbalife? What is that, right?
Yeah.
They're going to ask the question, right? It's a conversation starter because if people haven't heard of it before, now you get the opportunity to talk about it and you didn't have to cram it down their throat.
Well, I think a lot of people know the badge, lose weight now, ask me how, the Herbalife badge, we wear it all the time. I've got one that says get healthy now, ask me how. And I wear it everywhere, and everything's branded.
Oh yeah.
The cups, the bags, the car, Yeah, so it's branding, building that brand is so important. Our biggest thing is to keep it simple, fun, and magical. Those are 3 things that we really, really focus on in our business, because it really is. You don't want to overcomplicate things, otherwise you can't duplicate.
Oh my gosh, so many things there. I really love that. So when you say keep it simple, fun, and magical,
Simple, fun, and magical, yeah.
is that what you say? Is that what Herbalife says?
No, that's actually what Mark Hughes. So just if I can quickly backtrack,
Yeah,
Herbalife started by Mark Hughes. He was 22 years old and his mother died, overdose of sleeping tablets, and she was an actress, sleeping tablets and dieting tablets. And he vowed that he would find a healthy way for people to get healthy and lose weight, health in a healthy way. And he went over to China and started playing around with ingredients and herbs and brought it back to some scientists and doctors. And that's where Herbalife started, from the boot of his car. He sold, I can't remember the amount. It was about $5,000 worth of products in the first month on the boot of his car. And, now it's a $17 billion company in 97 countries. We've been around for 43 years. And that's what he started, just from a tragedy. And why he didn't want the products sold in any stores is because of that one-to-one conversation. You're going to get a coach. You're going to get looked after. I always say to people, you're not going to get called by Discam, or I don't know what it is in America, a big store. They're not going to phone you the next day and say, how was your shake? How are you doing?
Right.
Have you,
Yeah, no,
So,
for sure. Here in the US, I think one of the bigger chains that does that is the Supplement Superstore. And I'm not aware of any Supplement Superstore people who are calling up their clients going, how are you enjoying your new protein drink? How are you enjoying your pre-workout, your post-workout, your blah, 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 blah?
Yep.
They're
And
just,
also, it's Herbalife has got something without going too much into the Herbalife itself, but it's
uh-huh.
got a seed to feed program. So all the ingredients are grown on Herbalife farms around the world. It's all extracted botanically. So a farmer has to qualify. It takes 2 to 5 years for a farmer to become a Herbalife farmer. So you can grow that ingredient on that farm. So you can track back on every product, how it was grown, where it was grown, how it was extracted.
That is
We've got a
brilliant.
yeah, so you know exactly where that ingredient, if there's say 20 grams of protein in your shake, you've got 20 grams. And without ditching other products, there are a
Right.
lot of products that have not got what they say is on the label.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is a really cool story. I love the fact that, unfortunately that happened to Mr. Hughes,
Yeah.
but it's turned into this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure his mother has got to be so proud from the other side to
Really.
be able to say, at least, he did this, right? And
Yeah.
turned it into this. So but I do love that line of keep it simple, fun, and magical because
Magical. Yeah. Because
I,
that's what people want.
yeah,
People really don't want to overcomplicate things. And I think that's in MLM, we actually tend to overcomplicate things. We were talking about it just before, Jennie, about,
yeah,
this information overload and there's too much. And that's why I've just been listening to an Eric Worre course. And in actual fact, Eric Worre has come into Herbalife and he's using the products that's why we were laughing because you said, what's he doing with his shirt off in a hot tub? Giving and
exactly.
I, and I think that's why.
Yeah, he always used to be like fully dressed up. Like I would always see him with a button down shirt and a blazer or a sport coat or something
Yeah.
like that. And then all of a sudden I started seeing some of his posts and he's like got his shirt off and here I'm getting a tattoo and here I'm
Yeah.
getting getting in a hot tub. I was like, who is this guy?
What?
And what happened to Eric Worre?
So he's come on board almost nobody will ever take over Jim Rohn's role.
Oh yeah, no.
Jim Rohn and Mark Hughes were together, even though Jim Rohn was a mentor and a business guru and everything. He walked the road with Mark Hughes right from the beginning. And
Oh
he
wow.
was at all our conventions and everything. I didn't get to meet him, unfortunately. But so Eric's come in as a kind of Jim Rohn in our company, which is amazing. And I've just been doing this course with him and also listening to a lot of Fraser Brooks, as all of us do in MLM. But one of the things that they're saying is recruiting's down. Recruiting's down in the whole industry because of what's happened since COVID. Let's not blame everything on COVID. I'm sick of that word even.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
but since then, everybody went online. It became a yes craze, during COVID, everything, our business boomed because everybody was at home. Everybody wanted products, getting healthy, exercising. And then afterwards, but everybody's been left on this trail that you can just go onto social media and post a couple of things and now you're going to get business. So now people are on TikTok, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. So they all over the place. So there's chaos. So what we're trying to bring back with our team, as all of us should, is focusing on one direction, focusing on simplicity and getting people to focus on one thing and being consistent with that and using that as a funnel to get people through up the ranks in your organization. But it's focus on one particular thing and not like everybody's all over the place.
Right.
And
no, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that I actually teach in my sponsoring masterclass is not just to focus on everything, right? Because a lot of companies or even uplines, you'll hear them telling their team, like, offer the opportunity to everybody.
Yeah.
How's that working for you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not, right?
Yeah.
And so in my sponsoring masterclass, I actually take people through a process that helps them identify who their ideal team members are so that when they stumble across them in life, they have a better chance of bringing those people onto their team as opposed to, I'm just going to verbally vomit the opportunity onto every human being I meet.
Don't want to be that person.
No.
And also it's just build those relationships with people over time and just linger over time and then, kind of bring it in. So it's about having these long conversations with a lot of people all at once. That's the way to do it. And it's sometimes difficult not to just, as you say, just verbally abuse people with your opportunity.
Right, exactly. Because what I see happens is one of two things. You've got somebody who's out there doing the verbal vomit all over everybody on trying to get them to join my team, which why would I want to join your team? You haven't told me why. You haven't told me what's so great about it. You have they're making it about them. They're not making it about what's in it for the person who would potentially be coming on to the team, right? But the other thing that happens is people either go whole hog on offering it to everybody, or they offer it to nobody because they don't want to be that person. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, seriously. Well, you and I could talk more. And so I'm going to have to bring you back, Stuart, to share more because this has been brilliant. I love that we've talked about going to convention and what it does for people's businesses to be able to do that. And then to begin to talk about team growth and what the possibilities are there for that. But so if somebody wants to reach out to you because maybe they've never heard of Herbalife or maybe they don't have Herbalife in their area and they want to know more, where can they connect with you?
Can I do one thing quickly? I said I was going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm just going to ask Siri something, guys. So listen to this.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey Siri. Hey Siri. What's the #1 nutrition company in the world?
Herbalife Nutrition was named the world's #1 brand in weight management and well-being by Euromonitor International, an independent market research firm.
I just had to bring that in.
Oh, I love that.
You know, being the #1 nutrition company in the world, it's quite something, you know, so...
we're
very proud of what
I totally get that because you're on the #1 network marketing podcast in the world.
It's good to be #1. Eh?
It is very good to be #1. All right.
But Jennie, they can get hold of me on LinkedIn. That's probably the best place to get hold of me. You know, DM me on LinkedIn. We can take it off that platform. We can show them, you know, if they want to have a look at the opportunity or our products or, you know, we deliver products anywhere in the world within 3 days. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. So,
it's cool.
So it's very easy. Yeah.
Very good. So, of course, my badass crew knows to check the show notes for your LinkedIn links so they can go find you easily without having to try and find how many Stuart Hallers there are in the world.
Excellent.
Secondly, for those of you who are listening, and maybe it's your very first time listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Show, the show notes are below the episode. So grab your phone as long as you're not driving. Click on today's episode, scroll under Stuart's picture, and you will see Stuart's information there, including his LinkedIn link. And you are offering an Herbalife Christmas cookbook for people if they would like to do a little more healthy cooking going into the holidays, right?
There we go. A beautiful cookbook. And we've also got a coffee table version if anybody wants one. Very nice.
That. So you can either get a digital
present.
That is fantastic because I'm more of a digital cookbook kind of girl because my iPad sits in my kitchen so that way I can use any recipe from anywhere. But I know there are other people who are much prefer an actual physical version of a cookbook. So if you are interested in that badass crew, please go down into the show notes and you will see a link there where you can connect with Stuart to get the Christmas cookbook. So we would love to be able to get people connected there. So Stuart, thank you again for being here. I so appreciate you.
Thank you, Jennie.
Absolutely.
Lots of fun. And as you say, we could do this for a long time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we'll bring you back in a few more months and share more awesomeness that is going on with you and your team. And we'll be able to have more conversations about how people can build and grow. And that's what I think is really important about this show is that they get the opportunity to hear from people in other companies that they wouldn't necessarily hear because if you're in the echo chamber of your own company,
absolutely,
you know, you're not going to get any new ideas. So Stuart, thank you again for being here. And badass crew, you know how this goes. Stay tuned because there's another badass episode on its way.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.